Marketing Edge on TV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and on the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. Welcome to another exciting episode. I am Oluwabukola Omoni.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin Marketing Edge on TV with brand news, where we'll bring you the latest developments around brands and on the field of marketing, advertising and communications in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has threatened to impose stiffer penalties against defaulting broadcasting stations that fail to pay up their license renewal and remit dues after its new deadline of 9th September 2023. Malam Balarabe Ileila, NBC Director General, during a stakeholders meeting held in Kano, emphasized that henceforth, indebted stations that fail to meet the ultimatum would be considered illegal operators and saboteurs of the national economy. The Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria has stated that it has accumulated the sum of 582 million naira as revenue across all cinemas in Nigeria in July. This was disclosed by Opeyemi Ajayi, the national chairman of CEAN in Lagos. Ajayi said the total viewer admission in cinemas across the country within the month under review was 218,395. He added that Nigerian cinemas experienced a slight increase in patronage in July due to the numerous public holidays in the month and encouraged more Nigerians to consider visiting the cinemas during their leisure to unwind. Data released by the Nigerian Communications Commission shows that the second quarter of 2023 witnessed a steep decline in mobile subscriptions among Nigerians with a whopping 6.1 million. The Commission says the total number of mobile subscriptions in the country fell from 225.82 million at the end of December 2022 to 219.77 million as of the end of June 2023. Generally, the steady fall in mobile subscriptions have been blamed on the impact of the country's economic crisis, especially the fluctuating foreign exchange regime and the erosion of purchasing power. ResearchAndMarket.com projects that global palm oil market is expected to grow up to $87.40 billion by 2028 from $74.32 billion in 2023, growing at a cumulative annual growth rate of 3.3%. The report says oil palm plants outperformed other vegetable crops such as soy, sunflower, and mustard, producing 4 to 10 times per unit of land, adding that this high productivity is crucial to world health security and nutrition. Another report by PwC recalls that Nigeria was the world's largest palm oil producer with a global market share of 43% in the early 1960s. But today, it is the fifth largest producer with less than 2% of total global market production of 74.08 million tons. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria, if Nigeria had maintained its market dominance in the palm oil industry, the country would have been earning approximately $20 billion annually from cultivation and processing of palm oil as of today. And that was brand news. Next is branding focus, just after the break.
The words are hard to find, but they're still heavy on my mind tonight. The pain is deep inside, but I still want to hide. Happy birthday! Tonight.
this what you really want to do?
Yes, Dad. That's what I've been trying to show you.
Fight for your dreams the advanced way with Glow LTE Advanced. The power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Now on branding focus. Contrary to the bout of optimism that greeted the early part of Nigeria's election year and hopes that the headwinds of inflation encountered in 2022 will be in the rear vision mirror, the first half of 2023 didn't end in an upbeat note. However, Nigeria is not alone in these challenges. Amidst global challenges such as the Russia-Ukraine war, supply chain disruptions, and soaring food and energy prices, global growth is forecast by the World Economic Forum to slow by 2.7% in 2023. This instability has undermined real incomes, triggering a global cost of living crisis, particularly for vulnerable groups. Moreover, the rise in interest rates could further exacerbate an already dire situation and trigger a global recession. Strike a conversation with a group of marketing professionals and business leaders, and the one thing just about everyone can agree on is that 2023 is a stark contrast to 2022. In almost every segment and category, market momentum has shifted and created some challenges, making it necessary for chief marketing officers and their industry practitioners to recalibrate. Globally, without a doubt, the business environment is in a state of flux and market dynamics are no different in 2023. Businesses that can successfully navigate these changes will be the ones that will recalibrate and thrive. With a mid-year marketing communications plan review, business leaders can make the necessary updates to refresh their efforts for the second half of the year. But they must review marketing results for the first half of 2023 against key performance indicators and make adjustments. See what has been accomplished and what has not been accomplished. Review what's working and what isn't working. They should also assess and allocate resources against the most crucial or profitable campaigns and initiatives. The era of lone combatants has ended. It is now time to collaborate, open up and work together to find solutions, offering previously uncovered answers. Now is the time for brands and businesses to regroup with their agency partners, refresh or adjust their marketing plans, and move forward in the most focused way possible to ensure that resources, priorities, and measurements are aligned through the end of the year. Welcome back. That was Branding Focus. Next is Industry Conversations, where we have discussion with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. Today, we will continue our conversation with Steve Babaiko, the CEO of Extreme Ideas.
Where is Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello? Where Glow now?
I dey here.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow berekete 10x. Now him I dey take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you dey enjoy up to 15,000 naira credit and data.
And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if we enjoy, if I join Glow berekete 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits. You just carry your phone, dial *777#. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see dey here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow.
Please save now Glow we dey fine. Now Glow we dey go.
Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
So a lot of people say there's been an eroding of capacity building for upcoming practitioners. What is your take on this? and how are members, benefiting from the AAAN Academy?
Well, I'm glad, to start with, I'm glad that the academy finally has taken off, because for 20 years, we were all just mouthing the promises of saying, no, we're going to set up an academy. So now it is up and running. I think there's still a lot of work to be done. We're doing this in partnership with Henley Business School, which is one of the finest business schools in the world. And we're proud of our partnership with them so far. We just need to plumb the depth of that partnership so that we can achieve more. But yes, you're right. I think there should be more opportunities for young practitioners to be able to hone their skills and develop their confidence on the job. And there's only one way you can do this, which is by training and retraining. I think we need to do. But what is good is that there are lots of training ground now between, apart from the academy, which is the AAAN initiative. There's O2 Academy, there's Orange Academy. There are a couple of academies like that coming up that have been around. So we're happy with all of the support services they are giving in regards to training young.
Great. Okay, so how would you say the creative industry is dealing with the Japa syndrome?
It's a syndrome that's not just hitting the creative industry. There are industries that will tell you it's almost paralyzed them completely. The banking industry is totally devastated by it. The tech industry is also massively affected. So, of course, the creative industry as well has been affected significantly. But you see, what I try to point people's attention to, the Japa syndromes, the biggest blow to that this country has suffered from the Japa syndrome is not really about labor force flight, all right? The biggest, in my opinion, is when it affects the people who are actually entrepreneurs that should be creating and generating jobs in this country. Those ones who are folding up their shop here in Nigeria and jackpotting. So you have to force, it is when you have a job and then you jackpot, that is where it affects the office. But if the owner of the shop locks up the shop, so it is not just one person that has jackpot, it is about 10 or 20 people who are out of work in the country. And I think the government, apart from declaring a state of emergency on maybe food and hunger in the country, I think there should be a state of emergency declared on the flight of talent in this country, you know, because it has far-reaching implications for our country.
I hope the government does solve that as soon as possible. So we note that there are lots of tension before the election from practitioners. Now that the election is over, what are your expectations and projections, for the sector?
For the sector, I'm actually quite positive, maybe because I'm a very optimistic person. I'm quite positive that the new government is going to do better. It looks a little rough at the moment, but I'm hoping that things will settle down real quickly. So I don't know where the optimism is coming from, but I'm actually quite optimistic that things are going to work out well, because it's about the macroeconomy, because you cannot isolate the advertising industry from the macroeconomy. If we are able to get all of the fiscal policies to match the monetary policies and we make them work together, one, the quick fixes that I'm hoping to see begin to generate more foreign exchange. If we're able to drive up to meet our OPEC quota for oil production and able to sell and stop the bleeding via all of the oil theft that's been going on for years, if we're able to increase our foreign reserve and hopefully bring down the exchange rate, the disproportionate exchange rate between Naira and the dollar, I'm sure that will cascade down to a better macroeconomy in general. And if the macroeconomy is good, then there will be a boom in the advertising industry. So for me, I think those are the things that needs to be fixed. But overall, I don't know I still feel very confident that this government is going to do well.
Okay, great. We hope to see that. Okay, so which would you say is most preferable for today's audience between the traditional media and the digital channels?
I still think it's a bit of both. Okay. Nigeria is a massive country, 200 million people, and the thing is that for the urban dwellers, we tend to act as if we're the only people in this country, right? So maybe how many people are on Twitter, for instance? I mean, forget the fact that Twitter has suffered a lot of hemorrhage lately, but how many people, how many Nigerians are on Twitter? How many Nigerians are on social media? And you see it even in the election. You can be popular on social media and still lose the election. And you see, because, and the reason for that is simple. The people who actually vote are in the rural areas. So
That's
it's the
true.
guys who are on Twitter and who are going to post lots of messages will post messages and won't show up on the election day. But
Scared of
so
voice.
for traditional media, for the rural and for the hinterland, you still will continue to need traditional media. And meanwhile, for the urban populace and the Gen Zs and the millennials, digital media will always be relevant. So you need a careful balance of both.
Okay, so talking about advertising billing, what would you say is the total advertising billing for the creative industry?
I think we're still, give or take, with even all of the election spend and everything, I'll still bring it to about maybe $500 billion in a year, and that is like a spit in the ocean compared to where we should be. If you take that to be a percentage of the total GDP, we are still less than 2%. Meanwhile, South Africa is about maybe $500 million. That's what I meant to say, not 500 billion. So South Africa is maybe around 1.6 billion. You
That's a
know,
lot.
so you can see we have more catch up to do, and maybe they'll probably be approaching $2 billion by this year. So there's still so much ceiling for us to grow into, and which is why the government needs to empower Akon to even do more work. Because if we're able to sanitize this industry and keep all of the rules of engagement very crystal clear for everybody to follow and adhere to, we grow the industry. And like I said, the industry will hire more people. The industry will pay more taxes. And there will be a general boom for everybody, Yeah.
Okay, good. So how would you describe the relationship between clients and clients and agencies? And are you an advocate for, the in-house agency?
Well, I think the idea of in-house agency makes little or no sense to me, and I speak very selfishly, maybe because this is my profession. I know that look, this is division of labor. If I have any interest, maybe I have any investments in any client's business, I will encourage them as much as possible. Focus on the primary responsibility you have of building fantastic products and brands, and leave the issue of brand building to professionals who that is all they do. Because once you start to distract yourself with, you want to run an in-house agency, it becomes stale anyway. In after a couple of months, these guys become part of, they become like wallpapers. They are never able to get creative. All of the challenges you throw to your agencies, that they are able to rise up to the occasion and develop fantastic work for you. You're not able to do that. So that is one. I think the relationship between clients and agency is the one between husband and wife sometimes. You are all part of one union, but it is not devoid of disagreement.
That's true.
Because you have major decisions to take together that will make you guys look yourselves in the eye and say, I don't agree with you. And that should be encouraged and respected. But if you look at it, the best, when you see an agent or when you see a brand winning awards and winning global awards, check all of the brands that are winning globally. And then go back and check the relationship between the agencies they have and the clients. The clients, my own theory is that the clients that have the best relationship with the agencies are the ones that actually win. Because that is winning is the aftermath of how you've been able to forge those relationships and work together as a team. And that is the result. Winning is just the end result, So I encourage more clients, and I encourage agencies to co-create with their clients. We are all on the same team. So there's all of the rivalry. There's no need for it. We should all come together. There should be harmony. Yes, we should disagree where we need to disagree, but we need each other to create fantastic work and build better brands.
Great. And so talking about winning, let's come to, your milestone recognition. What was it like coming home with such a prestigious award?
For me, I think I told my wife on a lighter note, I said, now that we have won this, I think I can retire. And she said, no, who is going to pay the children's school fees? You have to go back to work. So I'm back at work. But it feels good. I'm very proud of my team. You know, the fact that my team was able to shatter this 70-year record and win one major one for West Africa. I think it's just not a win for Extreme Ideas. It's a win for our industry. It's a win for our subcontinent. It's a win for Black people in general. I feel very proud. And shout out to the Can Lions team for making the process very fair and transparent for anyone with good idea to be able to win. I feel very happy.
Okay, great. So let me ask you, what are the creative philosophies of Extreme Ideas?
The thing is, the creative philosophy is always to just be more left field in our thinking, come from a surprising angle, and help our clients to win in a very crowded marketplace. You know, if you're in Nigeria, you're a brand trying to survive here, amongst so many other brands in the marketplace, you know how crowded it can become. So our own creative philosophy is that thing, finding X, which is that unique piece, that X factor in a brand that will help you win and stand out in the marketplace. And we've been faithful to that philosophy for 11 years counting now, you know.
Great. Yeah. Okay, so how has your agency evolved over the years, you know, to become this creative powerhouse in Nigeria?
I think it started gradually on August 1, 2012. We started, but I've been very clear with the vision. The vision was clear to me from day one. The first meeting that we had, I remember telling the team, anyone that calls Extreme Ideas a new agency, a small agency, a startup agency, if I hear it, I'll fire you immediately. And the reason is quite clear. From the one, I was sure we're not a new agency, we were not a young agency, we were the agency. And that's the spirit. We did not come to this market to be number 2 to anybody. We came to this market to be number 1. We're very bullish about it. We're very confident about it, and we fight for it every day. And that's it. And if you look at it, we are perhaps the only multinational agency out of Nigeria today with presence in about 6 countries, in Lagos, in Johannesburg, in Lusaka, Zambia, in Congo, Brazzaville. We just opened the Nairobi, Kenya office, and we're in Dubai. So we're the only agency, and we have grown. We're an independent agency. We've done this not by affiliation with any foreign partner. We've done this out of sheer determination. That guts that Nigerians are noted for is what has brought us this far. We're grateful to our clients, our partners, and most importantly, we're grateful to God Almighty for giving us the ability to keep pushing.
Amazing. Yeah. So how would you say Extreme Ideas has managed its creative leadership in the light of, you know, dynamics?
Well, because first, I'm a creative myself. Don't forget that I was creative director in another agency for 7 years before we set up Extreme. So I will always be part of that creative magic that happens in Extreme. I'll contribute from afar these days, but we have fantastic creative directors, from Mike Miller, who is our executive creative director, to the other creative directors in the shop, all the DCDs, and all the senior member of management. I think we've been able to come together and say, okay, look, this is what we want to do. We believe in this company. We want it to thrive. We want it to continue to be known for excellence. And every day when we wake up, we challenge ourselves to live up to our name, because the thing is, your name cannot be Extreme Ideas and you make a career out of producing basic ideas. So every day we wake up, we have to live up to that name, Extreme Ideas, by coming up with fantastic ideas.
So would you say that is what has given you the edge, you know, to trail in such a feat at the Cannes Lions?
Well, obviously. Obviously. But you see, the good thing about the Cannes Lions is that now that we have opened that gate, I am so positive and so confident that we'll see more Nigerian agencies win at that festival. Because I think we, you know, as Nigerians, once we get challenged, we always rise up to the occasion. I feel our colleagues are challenged by the fact that, okay,
this can happen.
This can happen. Somebody that we know has done it. So I'm confident that we'll see more win come out of Nigeria in the coming years.
Okay, so on a final note, how has this recognition, how has it repositioned your agency?
Well, what I'd like to see is to see more clients pay more for the services that we bring. Now that, if this was the World Cup, we are the
The champion.
We're the Argentina of this industry today. We won the World Cup. We brought it to Nigeria. So I like to see clients pay more money for our services. And obviously, I think clients recognize what it is for, what are fit for what it is. We're happy that we've received lots of congratulatory messages from our partners and our friends and clients, even the ones that we don't work for. So we're proud of that.
Congratulations.
And we want to continue to render the same quality service to our clients.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And so you have heard it. We have been speaking with the CEO of Extreme Ideas and the president of AAAN. I am Oluwabukola Omani. See you same time next week.